morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the National Conference on Children in Difficult Circumstances, which has been organized by Plan India in partnership with the Ministry of Women and Children, Government of India.
This conference is a first ever effort on the national level to focus our attention on the very serious issue of children in difficult circumstances.
I think we have the right constituents together. So I observed a great abundance of civil society people and very importantly of government, and thanks for having us corporates also involved. So I believe that these three institutes need to come together to do something meaningful.
Listen, act, impact. While you plan for every child, I think it's been very ably put that this is the reason why we all are here. While our legislative framework is robust, we have some issues in implementing. There is abundance of intent, but there is sometimes a constraint on how to do it. This government is very willing to engage with citizens. So I suggest please link with us so that together we can address the enormous task that we have.
We talk about JJ, we talk about POXO Act, we talk about child labor, but we are not really talking about children and child rights. When I tell people I'm heading a commission for protection of child rights, they look at me and say, बच्चों के भी rights होते हैं. What are child rights? So we need to communicate about child rights, the right of a child to a safe and happy childhood.
The challenges, if I come into, are the policy. Different acts talk of different age of the child, and that's very important we need to address on.
I take this opportunity to introduce to you the Asmita Theatre Group. Asmita is one of the leading Hindi theatre groups in the country, and it stands committed to aesthetically innovative and socially relevant theatre.
मास्टर जी ने कहा था कि मैं आपको बता दूं, लेकिन सुबह तो स्कूल जाने के लिए निकली थी। क्या सचमुच नहीं भाजी? नहीं, स्कूल नहीं गई आज, और हमें तो रास्ते में भी नहीं दिखी। अरे सुबह थोड़ी सी देर हो गई थी उसके स्कूल जाने में, लेकिन स्कूल तो वो गई थी।
माँ बाप की आंखों के तारे बच्चे, जब ये बच्चे अचानक गायब हो जाते हैं तो कहाँ चले जाते हैं? हिंदुस्तान में हर 8 मिनट में एक बच्चा गायब हो रहा है। ये बच्चे जाते कहाँ हैं?
जल्दी जल्दी हाथ चलाओ, और तू जल्दी काम कर चल। साहब बहुत भूख लगी है, सुबह से कुछ नहीं खाया। सुबह से कुछ नहीं खाया तो मैं क्या करूं? जल्दी जल्दी बुन, सुबह से आधा मीटर भी नहीं बुना।
I take this opportunity to introduce to you Miss Vani Angular and group from Honduras, who is a mystic, an artisan, a world traveler, mother and international women rights warrior. She sings Afro-Latin pieces in a piece titled Spreading Wings, Building Networks. Put your hands up for Miss Vani Angura.
We tell stories of our land. Yemo yemo yemole, yemo yemo yemole, yemo 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 yemole, yemo yemo yemole, yemo yemo yemole, yemo 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 yemole.
If you have programs like the one that has been organized by Plan India, where different stakeholders, persons having different interests with regard to children who are in difficult circumstances, if they are in a position to get together, then you get broad picture of what's happening. So it's very, very important that these kind of conferences are held, where people from different disciplines get together, people with different interests get together, and try to sort out the problems of children in difficult circumstances.
Plan India, in partnership with the Government of India, has organized this very important landmark conference, and this is an opportunity for India to showcase its success despite a big population and a complex situation and the many challenges that the state faces.
We have many categories under which children are slaughtered. whether they are and subjected to many forms of violence. But whichever category you place the child in, there are some overarching issues which are common, really non-negotiable.
In the whole 2 days, all the people are talking about the collaboration and implementation. These are the two major key points which we can see the outcome of this conference. So collaboration and implementation, and this leads to the dignity of CIDC and a better India. And we as a youth ask you all to involve young generation as well, because as we have discussed, 39% of population is children, which is a huge number.
Intersectoral coordination is very important so that we ensure it is a sustainable model. Similarly, service providers, building the capacity of the service providers, whether it's the frontline workers on children affected by AIDS or the medical doctors, to ensure that they provide quality care. And last but not the least is working in the child-centric approach, where we work with the children and the families and build capacity of the caregivers.
While problems are several and many, solutions have to be interdisciplinary, inter-experiential. Now this whole question of intelligentsia and bureaucracy and thinking persons to come together is a problem.
We definitely in the media need to focus much more on a sort of grassroots development journalism that looks at children as a very, very important section. What I think is also very important is how do we make that kind of journalism possible, and this involves both the responsibility of the journalists, of media houses and of civil society in general.
Really also want to thank Plan India for this extraordinary initiative of bringing us all together from all over the world. And from all over India to look at this extremely important issue of children in difficult circumstances and how to move forward and get real progress for children and for their rights. So thank you, Plan India, for this too. Thank you.
I'm really privileged and honoured to be here today. This truly is a momentous occasion. As has been said, this declaration comes after state consultations in 30 states, 5 regional conferences which involved several stakeholders, many governments, private sector, media, subject experts, and over 500 NGOs. The National Declaration. Children enjoy their own rights and are entitled to be involved in their own development and protection. Conscious efforts are needed to recognize, nourish and encourage the agency of children by everyone, including parents and families, communities and government. We declare that efficient collaboration needs to be intensified to implement the existing laws and policies with utmost consistency and without delay. Whilst accountability should be owned by the government, it must be shared with civil society, media and private sector, amongst others. All stakeholders need to accelerate their mobilization and coordination for meaningful law enforcement. We declare that more focus should be placed on research and creation of an evidence base to inform and guide planning and implementation of interventions by government agencies and civil society actors. Data collection and information management systems should be strengthened to assist analysis of the situation of children. We declare that more investment in affirmative action should be made to eliminate the difficult circumstances children, especially girls, find themselves in. This is imperative to prevent the high cost of violence against children that society ends up paying. As a large number of children remain out of the safety nets, it becomes our collective responsibility to increase investments to prevent and respond to hardships stemming from multiple complex and interlinked causes. Thus, the collective commitment for increasing budgets for children should be reinforced and translated into reality. We declare that action-based networking should bring all stakeholders together to ensure coordination, joint accountability, effective communication, and clear division of roles and responsibilities. And we finally declare that promising and innovative practices that demonstrate feasibility should be scaled up. They have to be feasible. Building upon existing knowledge will further contribute to expanding safety nets to cover and involve as many children as possible. Plan India reaffirms its commitment to continue to strive to improve the situation of children in difficult circumstances. We will continue to collaborate with regions, states, government and organizations who have been part of this process, and together we will positively make a difference to our children.
These past 2.5 days have been a milestone in the history of Plan India. Now it is time to take Plan for Every Child initiative forward. This includes publication of the outcomes of the conference, supporting key research on children in difficult circumstances, spearheading a network of key stakeholders, driving the advocacy agenda, supporting and upscaling sustainable grassroots initiative, and I would also officially like to commit National Conference 2017. I firmly believe that outcomes of the first ever National Conference will shape the lives of millions of vulnerable children across India, especially those living in difficult circumstances. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the teams at Plan India for working tirelessly to make this conference a huge success, and thank you to all of you